What's going on, gods and goddesses? Ayla the Goddie here. We're going to get into a whole message. So, my spirit family asked me to do something a little bit different today, and they want me to do a 7 chakra read. So, I'm going to do that for y'all. Give me 1 second. Let me separate everything out, get it all set up, and then we're going to get all into it. Okay, I got it back. So, 7 chakras. There is the root, there's sacral, solar plexus, there's the heart chakra, the throat chakra. Excuse me. Dang, somebody's throat chakra is clogged. Need to clean that out. And then there's the third eye, and then there is the crown chakra. So we're going to start out with the root chakra. Spirit guides and ancestors, what do me and the collective need to know about our root chakra? What is it that we need to know about our root chakra? So many of y'all need to step out of your comfort zone, baby. You see that says complacency at the bottom of that card right there. Step out of your comfort zone. You know, old keys do not unlock new doors. So if you want to have something that you never had before, you got to do something that you never done before. So your root chakra is asking you to step out of your comfort zone. I know that it can be a little scary, you know, going into uncharted territories, but just make sure that you tell yourself that you are safe and you are protected, and step out of your comfort zone. So that way you can have what you didn't think you would have. Renewals at the bottom. Many of y'all do have new beginnings on the way, but in order to get that, again, step out of the comfort zone. So the next one we got is our sacral chakra. What does the sacral chakra want to speak to us? What does the sacral chakra try to speak to us? So the sacral chakra has to do with your emotions and relationships. And many of y'all have been, y'all are going through some heartbreak. You know, whether it be you broke your own heart because of poor choices that you made, or some of y'all are trying to get out of a relationship, or you recently got out of the relationship, so you're feeling a little bit down. Just know that this was meant to happen. So, what else? Yeah, this was meant to happen. This relationship, it served its purpose. So, you don't feel guilty when you got to leave people behind, when you got to leave things behind. You know, I'm guilty of that. Sometimes I will feel guilty whenever I leave people alone, or I leave a situation alone that I know darn well it served its course, it served its time, and it served its purpose. Or it just was not good for me. It didn't align with me no more. So don't feel guilty for leaving people and situations and things behind. In order to have something new, you have to make the space for it. Feel comfortable and confident in your own skin. You know, don't seek validation through nobody else, from nobody else. You need to validate yourself. You know, you can't receive the love that you are not giving to yourself. And sometimes, you know, it takes some of us a little bit longer to grasp that. I'm one of those people where, you know, I kept loving until I couldn't. And I found myself in a situation, many situations, where I questioned myself. I questioned who I was. I questioned, was it me? And sometimes it be you and your actions and behaviors, but other times it ain't nothing that you did wrong. It's just that you learned whatever you needed to learn from that person, that place, that thing. It served its purpose. So don't feel guilty when you leave certain things and certain people behind. All right, next up, we got the solar plexus. What does our solar plexus wish to speak to us? So many of y'all are trying to discover yourself. And I mean yourself inside and out. Yourself, who you really are, your purpose here. You're on a discovery of discovering who you are. Keep at that. And in order to discover who you are, you have to also discover who you were. You know, the person that you were does teach you a thing or two about who you are, where you come from, and where you're going. So keep that in mind. Many of you, this is it's taking a little bit longer than you expected. I could tell because they know card came up, finally came up. Yeah, you're taking your time to discover who you are. Don't worry about how far you gotta go. You know, think about how far you come. It's how far you come that matters. How far you go does not matter. You never know, you know, what can happen and how long it can take. God can do things in the blink of an eye. Our timing is not God's timing. And he knows when it's time to give and when it's time to just put you on ice. That makes sense. Y'all, okay? Some of y'all are meant to help people to live their abundant lives as well. You are an empath. You are a light worker. You are a star seed, an indigo child. And you are here to help others discover their true purpose. So by you discovering who you are, helps your fellow soulmates discover who they are as well. Yes. And, all right, that cut out right as I was saying that. But enlightenment at the bottom of the deck. You are here to help people discover their true purpose as well as discover yours. You know, we find out who we are through other people as well. There are people that are sent in our past to help us discover who we are and who we are meant to be. Don't ignore the signs. Next up is your heart chakra. What does your heart chakra want you to know? I am seeing a broken heart. Many of you are, like I said, with that sacral, is that you are coming out of bad relationships. You're coming out of lower vibrations, and you are you're healing from traumatic events. You're healing from bad relationships, bad situationships, bad environments. And I'm seeing like a needle in a thread, and it's sewing the heart that is ripped in half back together. So you're doing some healing work. Yeah, you have been a victim of some sort. Don't have that victim mentality. You know, I had that where I sat here and I dwelled on the things that I've been through in my life, the traumatic events that I've been through in my life. And I sat here and I said, I didn't deserve that. Instead of sitting here being in a victim mind state, I decided I want to turn that around because I don't want to sit here and be a victim any longer. I'm not a victim. I'm a victor. I'm victorious. And celebrate those things. You know, they are a part of you and they were meant to happen for a reason. That reason you know. And even if you don't know, you will know. But many of y'all got people hating on you. I didn't get to comment up on that last video, but as you saw, the mailman was driving by. Message. But many of you got people, you know, hating on you. They going around. They being the mailman. They being the messenger. They is sitting here trying to, you know, talk bad about you, throwing dirt on your name. Don't worry about them folks. You know, keep on doing you. Keep on popping your collar. Keep on popping your shit because you are healing and you are growing and you are evolving. And, you know, they just hating because what Chris Brown say, I don't know why you hating on the outside. You can't even get in. And as you see, there's a house in the back, you know. And that lady up in this picture, which is probably you, don't worry about what these people say. If you spent your time worried about what a hater had to say, you're going to be wasting a lot of time on that. And that time you could be using to heal, to use that as an opportunity to grow, to learn from that, to, you know, make yourself a better person. I know it may not make sense, but make it make sense because it will. Next up, we got the throat chakra. And as I said before I even pulled any of the cards, many of y'all's throat chakras are clogged. You got to tell your story. Your story can help save somebody. Your story can help inspire somebody. You never know who is going through something similar and they may need to hear your testimony so that they can know how to overcome that same obstacle that you overcame or overcoming. Because many of you are starting to speak your truth. Your throat chakra is clogged because people don't want you to speak your truth for many of y'all. So, look it, as I was trying to say that, because I got people that is trying to block my throat chakra and they don't want me to get this message out. They want me to, they don't want me to get this message out because they already know I'm speaking facts. Many of y'all, be patient with the process. You know, evolution and change, it don't just happen overnight. You have to give yourself time. You got to be patient with yourself. You got to be gentle with yourself as you are growing and as you are evolving into the person that you wish to become. Baby, some of y'all may need to isolate yourself. You can't grow, you can't evolve in the same place where you're being mistreated, where you ain't being heard, where you are not being seen. You got to spend some time with yourself so that way you can learn yourself. So you can know what it is that your highest self is trying to tell you. Don't be afraid to spend time with yourself. Sometimes in the quiet, in the stillness, you get more information than you would if you were surrounded in the chaos. Next up, we got the third eye. What is it that we... Oh, dang, the whole deck spilled out. Y'all couldn't see that. But anyways, many of y'all are... y'all not trying to see the truth. You got to open up that... you got to open up your third eye, baby, and see things for what it is. See people for what they is. You know, a rejection is a protection of some sort. And you never even know what God and your ancestors and your spirit guides is trying to protect you from and why they could be. Like I was saying, you never know what you're being projected or exactly what somebody's trying to project on you and that you're being protected from that. What else do we need to know about the seen and the unseen? Spirit guides and ancestors. Oh, there's two of them came out. Yeah, some of y'all are confused. And it's hard to read between the lines. And again, it goes back to you just don't want to see it for what it is. You got to see it for what it is. You got to see people for who they is. Don't try to sit here and paint the picture of what you want it to be. Sometimes it just don't work like that. Yeah, sometimes you got to just embrace, accept, acknowledge things for what they are, people for who they are, situations where they are. This card came out here, and that's just letting you know that there's a purpose in your pain. There's a purpose in where you're at in your situation. I know that don't make any sense, but I'm about to make it make sense. The quote that is coming to me is sometimes God is not concerned about changing your circumstances, and mainly because he is concerned about changing you in the circumstances. Y'all, let me tell you, I'm going to testify right now. I'm going to tell story time right now. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. I'm going through a lot right now. I got a situation going on where my living situation ain't exactly what I want to be. You know, I had to give up my apartment, and I became homeless. And I had to come back to a place that, you know, honestly, I really didn't want to come back to. And I kept asking my spirit family and God, why y'all sent me back here? And they told me, we sent you back because we needed you to sit down and understand that some of the choices that you was making and some of the paths that you was going wasn't the direction that you needed to go. And so sometimes, and most times, angels will block the path when you headed in the wrong direction. And we may not understand, you know, half the time why that was taken away, why we was rejected for a certain position, why certain people come into our lives and as quick as they come, they go. God does. And if you sit with yourself and you sit in the stillness, you'll receive the answer that you need. But anyways, back to what I was saying, y'all, I've been discouraged ever since I've been in this situation. You know, I was sitting here thinking, oh, my life ain't gonna never get better. Things ain't gonna get better. I'm not gonna get better. But as I sat with that, I realized that that was the enemy trying to tell me that. And I needed to stop listening to those voices. And I needed to stop listening to that enemy telling me I can't. No. When the enemy tries to tell you something like that, you better tell the enemy, no, I can. I won't. Or I will. Or I'm gonna. Or I am. Don't listen to the enemy trying to tell you that you ain't good enough, that you ain't worthy enough, that you don't deserve this or you deserve that. No, don't do that. Don't do it, y'all. Anyways, next up, the crown chakra. What does crown chakra want us all to know? What does the crown chakra want us to know? What's going on? While I'm sitting here waiting on the crown chakra to come up, that's because many of y'all are blocked. Many of y'all's crown chakra is blocked. You got to sit and meditate so that way you can be in connection with the divine. You can be in connection with spirit, your spirit guides, ancestors, and source. Yeah, you need to find some balance, y'all. Some of y'all, the reason why y'all crown chakra is blocked is because there is a lack of forgiveness for yourself. In some cases with some of y'all, it may be forgiveness with others. But, you know, forgiveness is not for the other person. It ain't for the other people. It is for you. It is for you to let go of the attachments, the resentment, the bitterness. I used to struggle with forgiveness. You know, I would forgive people, but I wouldn't forget as I should. Y'all, you got to forgive yourself, okay? You got to forgive yourself. And you got to tell yourself, I did the best I could with what I knew how. I did the best I could with what I had. You know? And like I said, forgiveness, again, it ain't for nobody else. This is for you. You don't want to block your blessings because there is some unforgiveness towards somebody. Now, another thing, forgiveness does not mean that makes it okay what that person did to you or what happened to you. Forgiveness does not mean that it's okay. Forgiveness just means that you let go of the attachment. So that way you can get that out of the way and make room for what is meant to be and what is meant to come for you. So that is all the 7 chakras. I'm going to mix them all together and just see what additional message wants to come out from our chakras. Okay, we got something. Yeah, confusion is here again. Y'all got to see between the lines. You know, there is clarity that is coming for many of you. I know there's probably some questions that have not been answered, or you're wondering when the answer is going to come. Like I said, sit with yourself. Stillness. Sometimes the answer is not available because of whatever reason. There is no one reason. But keep going and keep growing because you are evolving. The confusion sometimes is meant to confuse the enemy. The confusion ain't always meant to confuse you. Sometimes you need to be confused because you don't need to know the master plan. So I hope this message was helpful to you all. And y'all be blessed. And if you need a personal, you got any questions, you want to book a reading, holla at your girl, 'cause I got you.